So, good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. I am the Naked Duck, and these are my 5 reasons you should all be riding a motorcycle. Cool car. You're not really helping me make my point here, buddy. I'm trying to make sure motorcycles look cool. In at number 5 is the motorcycle community. So, regardless of where you are in the world, what you ride, your gender, your sexual orientation, your race, any of that stuff just does not matter. When you're on 2 wheels, you are automatically in the club, essentially, and no matter where you are, you will have friends for life. Wherever you ride, wherever you go, whether it's a big tour, whether you just nip into the shops to get some bread, whatever it might be, you will meet other people on 2 wheels and you are instantly friends. It's just like an instant connection, and that in itself is just like one major reason to ride a bike. That is probably the biggest reason why I ride. All my friends ride, and it's just a little community, and no matter whether you've known each other for 5 minutes or 5 years, it just doesn't matter. You are instantly friends as long as you ride. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is economy. Now, everyone kind of realizes that, you know, motorcycles tend to be a little bit faster, in fact a lot faster than most cars. Even your smaller engine bikes tend to be quicker than your average car, or even the faster cars that are around. So why is economy important? Well, you know, if you're using a bike like this to go back and forth to work, to, you know, go visit family in far-flung lands, etc, etc, this thing is going to cost you generally less to do that. And I'm not just talking about fuel, I'm talking about tyres, I'm talking about tax, insurance, all that sort of stuff. Unless you are really, really young, these things are fairly cheap to insure. Again, that's just another thing to sort of keep in mind. Okay, so the next one is filtering. Now, I understand this is kind of a controversial subject, especially when we talk to our American cousins about it. So if you don't know what filtering is, it is essentially, you know, splitting a lane with a car in order to move through traffic that's essentially queued up, etc. So if there's a line of cars at this set of lights, for instance, then I would be well within my rights to, like these guys are doing right there, filter to the front and then get off as soon as the light goes green. Another perfect example of the motorcycle community there. I have no idea who these people are, but you always get a nod or a wave or a hello from these people, simply because we are 2-wheeled brethren. Back to number 3, filtering. So filtering actually helps to reduce traffic congestion by reducing the length of traffic queues, but because bikes obviously filter around the outside or on the inside to get up to the front of the queue and then crack on. Because we tend to, you know, move more quickly off the mark as well, moving to the front of the queue is very rarely a problem, because as soon as you're there, lights go green and off you go, and you're well away, well in front of the other cars, and it just seems to make more sense. Some people don't like it, I get it, but it is perfectly legal, and it's a great way of saving time when you're on your commute, etc. So in at number 2 then is maintenance. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that cars are, you know, always more expensive to maintain. It all depends on the vehicle, it all depends on the person, how you like to do things. Some people are more mechanically minded and can just, you know, do whatever they need to their cars, etc. But let's take your average, you know, fairly new car. We'll have a lot of electronics, we'll have a lot of gizmos and gadgets and stuff that needs to be looked at by the manufacturer of that car, or at least by a specialist, so that you don't lose things like warranty and just for your own peace of mind as well. Now, motorcycles are the same. They come on a lot in the last couple of years, in the last few years even, and even though they are now coming up with a lot more electronic aids and gizmos and stuff just like cars, they are still fairly simple machines, most of them anyway. You know, unless you buy something extremely expensive and track orientated, you know, general maintenance is a lot easier on a bike. You only need some very, very basic tools and potentially a paddock stand for the rear wheel, and you're away, you know. It's also a heck of a lot cheaper to maintain. You know, filters, oil, that sort of thing, and just servicing in general is generally cheaper than trying to run a car. I suppose it does come back to economy as well, but at the end of the day, you know, it's much easier to stick this on a rear paddock stand, you know, spend half an hour quickly tinkering, changing filters, changing oil, all that sort of stuff, maintaining your chain and stuff. It's just so much easier to do. In at number 1, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I understand it's an exciting moment. Please try and contain yourself, okay? I'm just kidding. Well, it's fairly obvious. I mean, most of us don't ride bikes because of their convenience and because of, you know, how practical they are. Most of us ride because, quite frankly, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sort of doing 24 miles an hour here, and I'm like leaning nicely in the corners, having a bit of fun. Like, you do not have to be going 150 miles an hour on a bike to have a lot of fun. You know, the fact that you're not in a nice metal cage that keeps you safe makes you a little bit more aware of the fact that you are going whatever speed you're going, especially when you're, you know, first getting used to riding. And so as a result, it's just so much more fun. The experience itself is so much more visceral. I once heard an incredible quote. This is not my quote, obviously, but it basically said that, you know, driving a car through beautiful scenery is like watching an incredible movie. But riding a bike through incredible scenery is like starring in that movie, and it's absolutely right. You see everything more, you smell the smells, you see the scenery. It's so much easier to quickly pull over and hop off and see something or do something. And generally, it's the experience, the actual riding experience itself, the way that bike handles compared to a car. It's just, you know, now that I ride, I find any excuse that I can to get out on 2 wheels. I do have a car at home. But honestly, any excuse, anything that any reason I can find to get out on a bike, I try and make sure that I do. I mean, I'm not being funny. You know, the way these things make their power, and because they're so light and nimble, it is just so much fun compared to driving a car. Motorcycles are essentially just toys. You know, most of us don't ride them because of their practicalities and because of how sensible they are. We ride them because, well, the exact opposite of that really. We ride them because they are so much fun. And, you know, all the other sort of things that I've alluded to are just bonuses, really. The number 1 reason why we ride a motorcycle is simply because it's just an absolute laugh. By the way, I'm not sort of advocating that people should mess around and do stupid stuff on motorcycles. I think that that's just a recipe for disaster. We all kind of know that. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed that video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the bell notification as well, so you get notified when I make a new video. This is my first video, but I'm planning on making at least 1 per month for the foreseeable future, and I'd like to obviously up that amount as time goes on. So guys, whatever you ride, keep it shiny side up, and I'll see you in the next video.